Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And the first thing I want you to do in this video is remember that score, 4,140,000. That was my score with Namor on today for ABX Combat Hero Day. And this is important because for the rest of the video, I'm going to be investing in Namor specifically for Alliance Battle Extreme to try and push that 4.14 million score up as high as I possibly can. Now, you're immediately going to be asking the questions, Cynicalex, is this video about ABX? I swear to God, I hate this game mode, and this is trash, and there's no reward for doing this. Why are you doing this? Why spend money? Why spend your resources, etc.? If there's no value, if there's nothing that the game's going to give you in terms of rewards and resources for going higher than 4.1 million, isn't it already high enough? I mean, the rewards stop at 100,000. Well, yes, the rewards in ABX need to be improved. Hopefully the devs know that, and they need to add, scaling rewards as your score gets higher, and they also need to add cumulative rewards at the end of the week, depending on how much score you hit, whether you hit like 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, etc. But the reason why I want to make a video like this is, for one, you get to see me waste my resources. I know you guys love that. For two, you will get here sooner or later. You might already be at this point in your game, but if you're not and you think, okay, well, I don't even have any Odin's Blessings, I don't even have any gold to rank up characters, and there's going to be some people in the chat, right? They're like, I have one crystal, lol. I get it. But sooner or later, in one way or another, you're going to get to this point, whether you are investing in bad characters in order to clear Shadowlands Stage 30 faster and easier and smoother, whether you're investing in support characters for World Boss, or whether you are a more endgame player, and it doesn't even have to be ABX. Sooner or later, you are going to get to the point where you don't have a fixed goal in Marvel Future Fight, like tier 3 this character, or do that thing. And then you're going to be like, well, what should I do next? And then that's when your own personal, play style in terms of gaming in general kicks in. Do you want to be a gamer that gets a high score? Do you want to be a gamer that has like tanky, unkillable characters? Do you want to be like really annoying in PvP or try really like wacky, weird builds? They're all different kinds of players in general, and doesn't just apply to Marvel Future Fight. This applies to all games, card games, etc. Are you a Johnny? Are you a Spike? So that's why I wanted to highlight this for you guys today, because oftentimes I just show you my build. Most of the time I just show you my build and we just go into it. So this is both a learning thing, because you can see how I approach tweaking my characters. You can also see and drool and watch me waste all my resources, and then on top of that, we're going to go back in and see if we can crush that 1.4 million score at the end, and we'll see the gameplay for that. So here's what we're working with. This is going to be the team up right here. We're not getting any team up bonuses except for the 3 6-star characters. And we're not getting any leadership bonuses as far as his stats go, because She-Hulk has just increased damage to male types. Yes, the Frost Beast is considered a male type. You don't have to keep asking every 6 months. It's still true. So here's the problem. Combat Hero. Namor doesn't yet have a Combat Hero uniform. He'll get one eventually. Maybe he'll get the one with the vest where he's younger. But right now he just has this one. But this one makes him a villain, so that means he can't be used on this day. So even though when I equip this uniform, all of his stats are magically capped, wow, I've got capped crit damage and capped crit rate and capped dodge. That's amazing. I love this build. Why don't we just play with this one? I can't. So take off the wings and then cry, because now I just lost 15% crit damage and I just lost 20% dodge. So now I have to pull as much dodge and as much crit damage out of my butt, out of my big whale wallet, as possible. So we're gonna have to take a look at this. I haven't actually pre-planned this in my head, so I don't actually know what it is that I wanted to do. I was considering, I don't have the crystals for it, but I was considering swapping his CTP with someone else's. I think it was Apocalypse has a much better CTP here, and I was thinking of swapping them, so I actually do need to get some crystals. Okay, so we got some crystals. We got the special pack number 1. There we go. Activate that. Sure, why not? That was $14 Canadian. It's all worth it in the end if I'm happy with what happens with my score, right? Well, we'll have to wait and see. So now with the crystals, we're going to go ahead and swap these CTPs. We're going to unequip this one, which is 2825. I know I have multiple CTPs of Rage to unequip, I know. And we're going to unequip this one. We'll give Apocalypse back his CTP later, but for now, we just want to worry about Namor. So we're going to equip the one that's 3029, and this is obviously going to overcap him when I put on his uniform, but that's not the goal. The goal for now is to push Namor to the top without his uniform. So now let's take a look at the stats. We should now be capped. We're overcapped on crit rate by 2%, which is good. but we're still only at 58% dodge. And remember, we have, well, don't remember, but I'll tell you now, we have crit damage here. So now I really don't have a lot of other options. I did consider awakening these isoates. As you can't see here, I have to move my camera, but basically I was considering changing the, like, fully awakening these and then re-rolling them to be physical attack dodge instead of HP. That is definitely something that I could do, but in the meantime, well, not in the meantime, but what I think I will do instead to keep the HP there, I think is we're 2% overcapped on crit rate, but what we can do is we can actually give him a physical attack crit rate Uru. I have one here, toughness. So we're going to equip this one here, and this is actually going to push us even further over the cap of crit rate. And you're thinking like, Alex, you're going the wrong way, bro. That's okay. Now we're 3% overcapped. Now we're going to delete, sadly, all of the other crit rate Urus that we have equipped for dodge Uru. So this is the sad part here, but now we could do this, bada bing. We go over here, we have an HP Uru, wow. I was very bold in giving him that one, but we're going to have to delete that one there. I don't know what I was thinking there. So now we are at 64.5% dodge. We are still overcapped on crit rate, but just by 0.76. And I think he does he give himself crit rate? He does not give himself crit rate. So we are going to have to stay very, very close to the cap on crit rate because he does not give himself regular crit rate. Unfortunately, but we are still 15% undercapped on crit damage. So what we would want to do is, I don't think we're going to be able to. Yeah, we just have crit rate now. We do have a couple more strike Odin's blessings that we can give him. So this is kind of, you know, this is the benefit of having and storing and hoarding all of my resources. I can use them on a rainy day. So we've now given him the maximum number of strike Uru, because you can have one per gear. We're pushing 40,000 physical attack, which is really nice. But again, we are still over cap. We're still missing, you know, what is it, 10% dodge and 15% crit damage. So what we're going to have to do here is get a little bit creative. We're going to have to lose, I think we're going to have to lose some physical attack. And we're going to have to, actually, you know what, maybe not. Physical attack crit damage. There's an Odin's Blessing that we can pop. And we're going to have to pop one more of these bad boys. Yep. This is basically the cost of doing business. You know, when you have nothing else to go for, right? You got all the characters unlocked. You've been Master of Shadowland. You've hit stage 99 for World Boss. Where else are you going to go? You can try to, you know, conquer Alliance Conquest or other game modes. Everybody has their own sort of tickle that they get off on. Their own tickle, he says. So we're at 193% crit damage. We're way higher, but the dodge is still really bothering me. I'm at 64%. I would want to equip more. You know what I could maybe do? Do I have a physical attack? I have an energy attack cooldown. I do have a physical attack cooldown. So we're going to, again, sacrifice this one here. And I think, I'm not 100% sure if I can now delete this one. I think that might be my best option, though. I'm 1.34% overcapped on skill cooldown. So maybe we can get rid of this for, but I don't have a physical attack. Yeah, I'm out of physical attack crit rate Uru. I would do it for a dodge, but I actually have to do the math on whether I would lose enough cooldown because, you know, I'm losing here 350% or 350 skill cooldown as a stat. Now it's time to see if basically $100 in investing it was worth the amount, or, you know, let's see if the results speak for the investment here. Hopefully they do, because otherwise I am a sad, sad panda. So let's go ahead with this rotation here and see what this brings to us. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Good old Namor. The water boy. Now, you guys will be noticing that I'm not doing his tier 3 skill all the way. We're actually canceling it partway through. This is not my rotation, but it was given to me by an Alliance member who's a very smart dude, and he figured this one out, so very, very much kudos to them. I play with some of the smartest players in Marvel Future Fight, I'll tell you, and they constantly surprise me with their knowledge of the game and their ability to, you know, make things work that I was just like not figuring out on my own or just not thinking was even possible. And they're like, oh yeah, like the Captain Marvel rotation and things like that. It's just like, where do you guys come up with this stuff? But yeah, smart as hell. And it's really fun to play with players like that because they're always innovating. They're always coming up with new ways to see things and to do things. And it's just a pleasure. A real pleasure to play with players like that. I think we're doing pretty well. I can't tell. I'm not really looking at the score. I'm paying attention more to the Frost Beast and what I'm doing here. So I don't know how close we are. And it's also hard to tell with how close we are because of the the roar and how the roar reduces your damage by 90%. It's such a lazy way to make this game mode interesting, rather than creating, you know, dodging mechanics, rather than creating some kind of, oh, there we go, we just passed our score. Rather than creating something interesting for the players, let's just dial up the numbers, you know? When was that fun? When did players say they wanted that? So not necessarily the score I was looking for, not as high as I was hoping to go, but we basically touched down on 4.5 million. So yeah, you can call that a loss, you can call that a win. I'm pretty happy with the results. I bumped up my score by about what, 260,000. That might not seem like a lot, but it is. Or yeah, 260,000, 360,000. I don't know, 260,000, 360,000, 360,000. Yeah. Okay, we did the math finally. So yeah. You know, again, it really depends on what your values are in Marvel Future Fight and what your goals are. In my case, when people say that they're, you know, equipping these CTPs and rolling these invincibility obelisks for Alliance Conquest, I might shudder, or I might think like, man, that's a waste. But I have to catch myself and check myself, because not everybody enjoys the game the same way, and that's okay. Some players do enjoy doing it this way. And although you might think it's a waste of Odin's Blessings, or you think it's a waste of my gold or my crystals or my money or whatever, you eventually will hit that wall as well, where you're like, I wonder what my next goal is going to be and how I'm going to find, you know, that drive, that motivation to build the next character, to do the next thing, and so on and so forth. So let me know what you think of Namor and the aquatic quest to be the biggest whale. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.